Hello.
Hello.
New books.
New books.
Yay.
We have books. Lots of books. I have,
lots of
you
books.
can see, I have quite a tall tower here.
I'm expecting even more.
I know. So many books. We already
So
have
many
some adult books for next week, too. I mean, wow.
It's always a feast or a famine here. I don't understand it. Why do they all come at once?
Because they know that we're waiting, and they just like to see us sweat about it.
Yep, get stressed out about it, but we're back. We got some books.
We're here. I got a big pile, so I'm going to try to go through some of them pretty quickly. I'll start with two by very familiar authors. These are for adults. They really need no introduction or description. We have Danielle Steele, the newest one, Complications, and Jojo Moyes. This one is a previously published, but it was never published in the U.S., so here it is for the first time in the United States.
It's a nice trade paperback. I love those.
I know. Night Music. So fans of these authors already know they're going to get it.
Nice.
You're probably going to love it if you love them. Here is a non-fiction one that sounded really interesting. I think maybe many of us
had that book.
need this. It's called What Do You Say? How to Talk with Kids to Build Motivation, Stress Tolerance.
Yes, very important.
Nobody needs stress tolerance right now. What am I talking about? It's not a thing.
Nope.
And a happy home.
I think that sounds awesome.
There we go.
I feel like I still need to read that, even when my kids are older.
Yeah.
I need to read that.
A guide to successful and fulfilling communication with kids. This is funny. If you're a parent, you've had a moment, maybe many of them, when you've thought after an interaction with your kids, how did that conversation go so badly?
Yep, or I could have done a lot better than that. Yep.
So it's just all about, how to talk to your kids, just different ways, just tips and the science of developing brains to help you reframe conversations. You're not tricking your kids. You're not trying to brainwash them. It's just all about, remember when you were that age, this is where your brain was at this point in development, and how do you want to hear things? What would you say? And don't forget the different stressors that are happening in the world right now that are maybe different from the stressors that you had.
Absolutely, very different.
Wow, is it
very
different?
Yeah. We didn't have social media and we didn't have pandemic, so I would say lots of different stuff going on right now.
Pandemic, wow. What's that? Here's a fiction one that I know a lot of people are excited about. It is called The Bookseller's Secret, a novel of Nancy Mitford, and surprise, World War II.
I think I know what the bookseller's secret is.
What is it?
They don't want to sell any books. I know if I were a bookseller, I'd have a hard time parting with the books.
So it's based off of Nancy Mitford as a real person. And this is one of those past and present books. One of those things that people tell me they either love or want to stay far, far away from. So some of it takes place in the present, and some of it takes place in the past. And I believe the present portions are they're trying to find this manuscript or something about the war that Nancy Mitford wrote something. They're on the hunt for her lost wartime manuscript. The search will reveal not only a new side to Nancy, but even more surprising link between the past and the present. So,
sounds really good.
Yep. So if you like World War II stories, you like stories about people who actually existed, and you like that past and present time hop thing in a book, you're gonna love it.
Nice.
And this also goes.
What else did Nancy Mitford write? Like really famous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. She's a very big World War II figure.
The name's not familiar.
And there are actually, at the end, some resources where the author, Michelle Gable, got some of her information about Nancy Mitford. So if you want to do some further reading about her, there are all of these different war and Nancy Mitford resources here that you can look into. So, very interesting. Cool. And there's a family tree in the back and all this stuff. And we just add this to the shelf of, covers of women that you only see the back of. It's one of those covers.
It's funny how covers definitely have a trend.
Trends, yeah.
There's definitely a trend.
If you loved Mexican Gothic, Sylvia Moreno Garcia has a new one. It's called Velvet Was the Night, and it's basically just pinned as a noir mystery, another kind of Gothic style telling, which is the style that she's becoming famous and loved for. So we've got that right there. I forget what it's it's about. It takes place in the 1970s Mexico City. A riveting slow burn of a noir about a daydreaming secretary, a lonesome enforcer, and the mystery of a missing woman they're both desperate to find. Now we enter the delicious portion of our video today. I have been waiting for this book for months. It was delayed because of the pandemic, this thing, and also the blocked canal because there was a paper printing shortage.
I blame everything on that. Yeah. I blame everything on that.
They actually, so I follow her, Katerina, I follow her on social media. She is not only a chemist, like an actual chemist.
I have no chemistry for this.
But a gluten-free baker. And would you ever think that was gluten-free? Would you? Because apparently they're amazing. She has a blog and all of her recipes. Like, look at the back. Do you think that bread is gluten-free? Apparently it is.
Oh my gosh!
So I can't wait to try it. The reviews for this book are really good. See, but like she has a lot of chemistry in the book too to tell you like how to make it work. You know, gone are the days of terrible gluten-free baking. Look at those muffins.
They look amazing.
Look at this.
Probably really high in calories.
We don't talk about the calories in baked goods. We don't talk about it. Also, I love that because she's a chemist, she does her measurements by weight, which gives you much more accuracy in your baking. So if you go by weight rather than like, oh, here's like 2 heaping cupfuls, you're gonna have more consistency from time to time with the recipe, and it's gonna turn out.
The chemistry will be right.
Yeah. See, look, but she goes into the chemistry of like how pastry works and how we
my mother-in-law
adapt it.
was a cooking teacher, and she had to take chemistry. And I was like, at first, like, huh? And then she explained it to me. I was like, you're right. And especially if you're cooking from scratch, you need to know
those bagels.
Substitute. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is like pumpkin seeds on there.
I think so.
You know I love pumpkin.
She make look at all of this, the signs. I'm just really, I cannot wait. I know I'm on a diet, but I just want to bake all these things.
You're gonna get your chemistry going on here. It's
Yeah.
educational, Alyssa.
Yeah, it's educational. Who cares that I'm on?
Just
Look at that. Look, it
Get
tells
back to your
you.
chemistry, your high school chemistry. You have to.
Oh, I was not good at high school chemistry.
Okay.
Look at that. Yeast, castor sugar, psyllium husk, tapioca starch, Malay flour, brown rice flour. So it's an interesting mix of different flours versus like 10 years ago when I first went gluten-free, everything was rice flour or almond meal and everything tasted like dry cardboard. No more.
Look at that.
Look at that. That looks moist and springy and delicious and
crispy too.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Move it.
But anyway,
Next. No more. We're getting
next, we're really excited for this one.
too.
Sheet cake!
Because nothing says.
Do you remember
having a rough day?
a few years ago? This is a few years ago. I mean, maybe more than that. On SNL. And I think it was it Tina Fey?
Oh, I'm sure. She was hysterical.
Was it Tina Fey? Where she was just like, when you're having a bad day, you just sheet cake. And sheet caking is the act of when you are very stressed, taking an entire sheet cake and just shoveling in, and you don't care that it's all over your face. Yeah. You're barely even chewing. You're wearing your favorite sweatpants.
So funny.
And you just sheet cake. And it's a phrase that we use around here quite often. That every now and then when we have a stressful day, we go, we need to sheet cake. Yes. We need to sheet cake.
This is too good of quality, though. I feel like sheet caking should be done with cheap, like, store-bought stuff.
Well, this is for mindful sheet caking.
Okay.
You know,
you're
maybe
sheet
when
cake
you have
ahead
to
of time, like you're planning.
You have to practice self-care while you sheet cake, so you make a delicious sheet cake.
And look at the one on the back. That's not even a sheet cake, and that looks delicious.
Ugh. You probably make it in a sheet.
Maybe. Oh, it's delicious.
Easy one-pan recipes for every day and every occasion. Oh, are you telling me I can have cake every day? Thank you.
Of course.
Ooh, look at that. Raspberry shortcake stacked cake. See, you stack it up, you bake it. Oh, look at that. Go big or go home sprinkle cake. Go big or go home, folks.
Those sprinkles are huge.
Go big or go home.
They're pieces of cake.
And this is not gluten-free, so it's gluten-full. So enjoy that. Ooh, what is that?
Very beautiful.
A brandy apple cake. Gingerbread cake.
Oh, I like gingerbread cake.
Ginger apricot angel food cake. Ooh. And they're all stacked.
Really
they're all stacked really high, so you're just really
just gonna
going
get
for
a
it.
huge piece, yeah.
Where are the ones that actually look like a sheet cake? Oh, they were Boston cream pie. That looks like a sheet cake. Frozen Mexican brownie cake. What? Oh, that's what I want a sheet cake with.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing.
All right, everyone, we're gonna be sheet caking
With this.
with this. We're sheet caking.
Frozen. That'll slow us down.
Maybe.
bit.
Brain freeze. Brain freeze.
It'll slow you down just a tad.
There we go. See, there's a sheet cake.
Oh, look how nice. Oh, I see. So she makes the sheet cake and then cuts it with like a circular.
So it comes out to be the right,
cutter,
the right shape. Ooh, German chocolate. There we go. There's a sheet cake. All right, this is the last one. Creamy hazelnut cake. Look at that.
And only one pan to clean up.
Wow. So
What could
that's
go wrong?
sheet cake available now at the library, but
Nice.
we'll probably be using it for sheet caking purposes.
Even just to look.
Yeah, if
Just
you've
for
never
looking
heard of
purposes.
sheet caking before, it is a verb. Sheet caking. Look it up. Very funny.
Yeah.
And then just imagine that that's what we do
When you get a little stressed out. Probably not with anything
the
like
last
it, though.
almost 2 years now. Yes. And then I have a couple of books for the teen room. This is a sequel to a book that I loved last year. The book was Ray Bear by Jordan Ifueko, and this is Redemptor. This is the finale of the duology. Absolutely awesome. It's like a high fantasy kind of thing. It's about a world. I don't want to spoil it, but it's about these characters, and you know, your Ray Bearer is almost like your king or your god, and then you have people who are part of your court who you have like a mind connection with, but it's also a lot about ancestry and who's the real Ray Bearer. And so this is what happens in the events after Ray Bearer, and I can't spoil it, but it was so engrossing and so amazing. It was one of the most popular books of 2020 for a good reason. Loved it, highly recommended. Cannot wait to
You don't
read
even
this
like
one.
fantasy usually, right? You're like more...
You know what? I like young adult fantasy because it's so much easier to get into than high adult fantasy in the adult section, because sometimes it's hard for me to get into the worlds.
Yeah, they
in
build
the-
it pretty quick in the teen books.
Right,
so,
it's a lot easier to visualize than in the adult ones where it's like, I'm going to talk to you for 30 pages just about the setting, and then you're going to understand it, but you're also going to be sick of me. I'm sorry, but
I like things to move a little faster. So
yes,
yeah.
these move much faster in the young adult world, so that's why I like them.
That's good.
Oh
boy.
Loki, the complete collection, the Agent of Asgard.
Nice.
Here's our God of Mischief. So this little compendium here has all 17 editions of the Loki Agent of Asgard books, Original Sin, and some material from All New Marvel Now, .1, number 1. So it's your complete collection of Loki if you'd like to read some more of the Loki comic books. This will be in the teen room.
He's got his own show now, right?
He's got his own show,
So,
so I
I
figured I
mean,
had to get the comics.
His time has arrived. Yeah.
I mean, people have been obsessed with him since the Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies started.
See, long before all that came out, I wanted to have a cat and name it Loki, and I never did, but we got one that we named Thor instead.
Cool.
So we did have a Thor that we had for many years.
Loki's
Loki
a
was
good-
my first
Loki's a good
choice.
cat name. Okay.
But I had Loki reserved for an orange cat, and we didn't get an orange cat, so I don't know why. I just feel like an orange cat should
Well,
be Loki.
orange cats are mischievous.
They're very
so that
mischievous,
counts.
exactly.
They're so doofy.
They're so doofy, and I felt like I wasn't going to name just anything, so this one we
Yeah.
named Thor, and also he had a very loud purr. It's like thunder, so that's why, yeah.
Perfect.
But Loki, his time has come. The trickster.
Maybe your next cat.
No, my cat. No, maybe we will. He might
do.
someday. I still got that dog I gotta worry about.
I know.
He's a lot.
But he might want a little friend.
I know, that's what my family says.
Oh, friend. And I think a cat would be more his speed than a dog.
Oh, yeah. He does not like
He's
me.
her dog is so
Like
small.
this
He's
big.
literally this big. You don't believe he's this big until you
He's
see
like
him.
4 pounds.
Literally this
And that's,
big.
you know, with you like under his hair, he's like nothing. He's just skin and bones.
He's smaller than a kitten.
Yeah, he's very tiny. Cat would probably beat him up.
Some cats
Anyway.
depends. Not a doofy Loki cat.
No, probably not.
Anyway, so the March trilogy of graphic novels now has run. This is book number 1 by, of course, John Lewis. Started it and it's been finished, and there will be more. But the whole idea is first you march, then you run. So this is about what happens when you have to, you know, the Voting Act. So now you have to, and the Civil Rights Movement. So now you have to get it going. So, okay, so the Voting Rights Act passed, but now what do we do? How do we make sure that this actually gets enacted? And what do we do for more civil rights? So it's a great graphic novel. But also,
Just
at the
beautifully
end
done.
here, there is a really awesome edition, biographies of the movement. So this whole last section here, this is biographies and some more nonfiction information about the people who are in the book. And then there's also a section here just on notes of the events that are depicted in this graphic novel. So just some more historical correlations, some notes to clear up some things, to make some things more historically accurate.
Those have been very popular.
Very popular. I know that everyone's going to be looking to read this one. And then a new thriller for teens. It's called That Weekend by Kara Thomas. The Cheerleaders was also a thriller, another book by Kara.
Oh, okay.
But basically it's about prom weekend. But things don't go right on prom weekend, and one of the prom goers wakes up covered in blood. 3 went up the mountain, but only 1 came back. A lake house, a secret trip. What can go wrong? Teen thrillers are
definitely a little creepy.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thrillers for teens, that's the big thing right now.
I think thrillers for everybody. Everybody's looking for an escape. It's like there's something worse than reality
like,
right now.
how do I reckon with reality? And they've actually interviewed teenagers. I think I've said this before. They've actually interviewed teenagers to say what is it about thrillers right now that makes you so interested and that captures you so much? And they're like, we need something that distracts us from real life, but not something that reminds of exactly what's going on, but not something that makes us pretend that everything's okay. We need something that's scarier than real life to distract us, and just to remind us that, it could get worse, but also that some scary things are fixable or are fantasy, and that it's not always real, and that it's controllable and it's okay. So that's why thrillers for teens are taking off, and similarly, some horror for adults is getting bigger now too.
Yeah, and on that note, I'll stick to the children's one. I'll start with this one because that's also a trend in the children's department.
Yeah.
Thrillers, or even just books based on a tragedy that they know of, like they know of certain things, but not necessarily. It's not real, but it's something that. And so this one it looks so innocent and sweet. It's called The Lost Things Club. It's actually about a child who has survived a school shooting and has gone mute. So it's not going to be super easy to read, but it had fantastic reviews. It says there are different kinds of ways to be lost. When 12-year-old Leah goes to spend summer with her cousin TJ, she's shocked to discover he's gone mute. She knows there isn't a right way to deal with the pain of surviving a school shooting, but sneaking out to visit a laundromat seems wrong, unless you're doing your laundry. But so she's determined to discover his secret. She follows him and unwittingly falls into the imaginary land of lost things, home to the objects that disappear in the dryer. And when the daughter of the laundromat's owner describes the wonders beyond the portal in the back of the dryer, TJ actually speaks. So it's gonna, I guess, have like a little magical realism as well. It's a poignant story about grief and the power of friendship in the aftermath of a school shooting. So unfortunately, something kids hear about. And again, like we always say, like they like to sometimes read about something that they can push away and keep at a distance, so it's not too realistic. And I think this one had fantastic reviews. So, The Lost Things Club. And completely the opposite now. Now we're gonna turn to the happy stuff, and we've got Good Dog. I love this little guy, and it's a nice early chapter book, beautifully illustrated with dogs and people and families, and it has all that nice white space. And these have been very popular. And this is the newest one. He goes to the swimming hole. So it's a summer book for the Good Dog. We also have Cat Ninja, which has the Epic sticker on top, or whatever you call it, the Epic logo. Epic is like an ebook series that the kids get in schools. So whenever they come out in paper or in hardcover, whenever they come out in book form, I try to buy them because we don't have Epic. We're not able to get it. So this one just says, beware villains, Cat Ninja is more than a silly internet meme. He's evil's greatest enemy, the silent master of cat foo and carpet scratching. So I think the kids are going to be excited about this because a lot of them come in and ask me for books that are on Epic and I can't always get them, but this one I got. So Cat Ninja. And this one also had fantastic reviews. It's a nonfiction book. We love this book. So many kids want to be a firefighter when they grow up. And this is the true story about the first female firefighter at the FDNY and how hard it was for her back in the 1950s, and how she basically sued the FDNY and said that their tests were discriminatory, and she got herself into the FDNY. So really cool. Send a Girl, the true story of how women joined the New York City Fire Department. So pretty cool, and very nicely illustrated.
Yeah.
And just really neat, and yeah. And on a sillier note,
Oh, this one's very silly.
beach toys versus school supplies. Kids love these versus books.
I
any
don't
kind of
understand
versus.
why the school supplies are at the beach. I don't get it.
have to
But
be
it's
able to-
really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, you have to be able to like totally suspend, disbelief, and it fits perfect for this time of year. Summer is winding down, and school is just around the corner when two rivals meet at the beach. Shovel thinks Ruler is a number-obsessed know-it-all. Ruler thinks Shovel is all play and no work. So who wins? Shovel or beach toys versus school supplies? Very silly illustrations, and kids love these kind of things.
They're so fun to read aloud with the
Yeah.
classroom. They're awesome.
Seaside showdown between summer fun fanatics and back-to-school champions. Who will come out on top?
And I have to
I know,
read
I
it to
prefer
find
summer,
out.
so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love my school supplies. And this one, Trick or Treat Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a kid who appears first in a Valentine story. And in this one, Frankenstein says, Halloween schmalloween. His favorite day has gone all rotten. Creepy cool costumes, super scary jack-o'-lanterns, and wicked loads of candy have been ruined by costume disasters, pumpkin carving nightmares, and terribly untimely toothache. Murr. Can Halloween be saved? Or will today turn into the crankiest Halloween in history? And look at these awesome end papers with all these made up kinds of candies. I love it. I love it. Who hates Halloween? Monsters.
Yeah.
Only monsters. And that's why maybe it's why he's a
And it's
little
my
Frankenstein.
favorite illustrator.
Yeah. Oh yes,
And
that's
Santa
right.
is
Santa
my
is yeah.
favorite illustrator.
So this is just very silly, and he really, really doesn't like people who hand out toothbrushes. Which is really funny because I actually, as a kid, I enjoyed getting things like that. I liked stuff other than candy because it was so different, but this kid does not like
I
it.
guess it is thrilling to have something.
Yeah, here
different,
his
but-
face is, I think he's tearing up that somebody's giving out, they're giving out toothbrushes and he's
And
tearing up.
floss.
Yeah, and floss, and they call it mouth string.
Mouth string.
So I think that's hilarious. I've never actually had the guts myself to be a toothbrush hander-outer. I always go just to the basics, to the candy. Maybe one day I'll have the courage to.
I'm never coming to your house.
I've never done raisins or an apple. I've never done that. I always do candy, but maybe someday. Maybe I'll just do out the mouth string. Just hand out the floss. I don't know. It's really fun and just very fun and colorful. He's a great illustrator, so. And that's it. That's what we got today for the children. Lots of good fun stuff coming in. More than I could even present. So
Yeah, we have. I mean, there were so many other books, some more nonfiction and whatnot, but
too many.
I know.
So many books, so little time.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I wish that there were more time in a day for me to just sit and read, but
Yep.
oh well.
We're set.
But anyway, so if you're looking for any of these books, come and visit us in the library. You can call us. You can come in. You can request it on the internet. Call us.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
All right,
We'll
that's
see
it.
you soon.
We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.